Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Christopher Garza Real Estate News. So, camping, biking, going out and picking daisies, these are all great things to do right now. But according to Fannie Mae and most of other Americans that are living in this beautiful country, it is not a good time to buy a home. So, why is that? And what does all this mean right here? So, this is a poll done by Fannie Mae from home buyers and home sellers and people that are looking as well. I actually went and read the poll, and it was kind of leading. There was no don't know option available, which I don't know if they took that out within the past couple of years or not, but that's why you see that yellow down there with it being 0%. I don't even know why they put the stat up there, to be honest, with the don't know if you don't give an option to actually put in don't know. So that leaves us with all this other statistics and stuff, which kind of don't really mean too much. It's just what the feeling of buying a home is right now, with the mortgage rates being what they are and such low inventory. I could see that not being ideal for most home buyers, but in a sense, is that not better than just renting and giving somebody else all your money? So let's go ahead and get into that. But before we do that, if you wouldn't mind, like, subscribe, and share. That way we can fill up those seats right there with people watching this YouTube video. And honestly, I don't know how they got that popcorn to that seat on the right. That is crazy. Anyways, like, subscribe, and share to people that you do like. And tell me how they got that popcorn to that seat like that, even if it is animated. The cities that I'm going to be kind of going over is going to be not all King County, and it's not going to be condominiums. It's going to be these ones in the yellow here: Tukwila, SeaTac, West Seattle, Des Moines. I just put South Seattle. That's kind of the Skyway, Bryn, Mawr area. Not really too sure what to call that, and I've asked around, and they don't even know what to call that. So we just call it South Seattle for right now. And those are the specific markets that we're going over. So with those stats, this is what's going on in that market. So we have 76 new listings, 88 total pending, which, if you look at the numbers with back on market and new listing added together, that gives it a total of 80, which is only half of what the pending and sold are. So there are still almost twice as many, in this case, almost twice as many homes coming off market than going on market. Now, one incredible thing here is there's zero list price increases, which means nobody actually increased their price. 20 people did reduce them, but it's rare that you see zero list price increase. There's at least one. I think about 4 weeks ago I had one, and then it's been toppling back and forth. But that's interesting that a lot of sellers, I think, are understanding you have to properly price your home, or it's not going to not only sell, but you're going to get a lot of money taken right off your pocket, out of your back pocket. Wow. So with the mortgage rates, like I said, being so high, right now it's actually staying at the highest that it's done in over 20 years. What I mean by that is it has not stayed at 6.9 and above for this long in over 20 years, which is crazy because what I just showed you before, two homes coming off for every home going on. You would think, with it being like this and all the news saying it's terrible, even with that one, which we're going to go in a little bit more later on. There's somebody from WRE News did a little kind of condensed version of what the entire Fannie Mae article was about, and it all just sounds kind of like it's a terrible time to buy a home, which, honestly, if you think about it, paying somebody else money that is never going to come back to you so you can stay on their property as opposed to maybe buying a condominium. It's not ideal for a lot of people, but buying that condominium and then using that later with the equity to move into that ideal home is a lot better of an option than just, say, waiting 4 or 5 years for the market to turn around when it never probably does. In those 4 or 5 years, you could be putting equity into your actual property. So, without going too much of a tangent, this is this is the statistics for, again, this West Seattle Tukwila area as far as average list price from original price and the sale of it. Wow. Average percentage of last original price to what they got the sale for. So if you listed at $1 million, they got $1 million, that's 100%. That one's going to be on that gray line right up there. And you would think with the market and all the inventory and the mortgage rates being so high, that list price to original price average of what they get would be super low, but it's actually above 100% in this area on average. And it's also kind of crazy because you can see where it went super low, and that's where the average days on market went super high at the beginning of this year in January. Now, people were trying to lock in those lower rates sometime around March last year, so there was a huge jump in the what they got as far as went back a little bit as far as what they actually received for their list price, which you can see up here on March of last year, going into May, June, and it kind of stopped around July is where you're seeing those numbers kind of even out right here. A lot of the interest rates kind of caught up with that. And so right now people are seeing 100% of their list price or over on properly priced homes. And a lot of that has to do with buyers kind of understanding that higher mortgage rates are probably going to be the norm for a little while out there. Now, should that prevent everybody from buying a home? That's case to case. But is it a terrible time to get in the market and buy a home? I would say the alternative is even worse, and paying off a landlord's mortgage over time and basically just giving them your money so that you can wait and hopefully something will pop up and work out for you. Or maybe you'll, get a crazy good job and get that offer that you needed. But anyway, we'll talk about the what ifs at another time if you wanted to send me a message. Now, this is Phil Hall from that WRE News. This is the article in which he kind of condensed a little bit of what Fannie Mae had actually put out there. And it says here, Americans polled by Fannie Mae, now is a bad time to buy a home. It's down from 80% last week. Majority also felt home prices will go up in the next 12 months. So is now such a terrible time to buy a home if the prices are going to go up no matter what? Now, mortgage-wise, you can always go refinance later on whenever the rates go down a little bit. So you're not going to be completely stuck in this mortgage rate unless you decided to sign that way. So many consumers may be coming to terms with elevated mortgage rates and high home prices. Like I said earlier, it's not so much that it's scaring everybody away. People are just understanding that it might be the new norm and that it is a much better situation to buy a home that you can improve and put equity into than giving somebody else your money and not being able to do anything. And maybe you have a noisy neighbor that lives upstairs and you keep hitting the broom on the roof, telling them to stop. But, that's extra stress that is definitely not worth it as well. So just to kind of back up what I was saying, and some of these numbers on the Seattle is not going to be, like the Seattle numbers are not going to be exactly this market update area that I'm speaking of. It's going to be all of Seattle, including the city, which the 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom would go down pretty immensely. I would say, in that Seattle area that we have, rent prices for 1-bedroom to 2-bedroom are anywhere from $1,800 for the 1, and then for the 2-bedroom, I'd say about $2,800 in that Seattle area. Now that's not super low, not super high. That's kind of just the average of it. But what you see here is with this kind of a rent, Tukwila average rent, 2 bedrooms, $1,700. You could probably buy or get into purchase a condominium in the $200,000 to $250,000 range with that kind of a rental that you're already paying. So it's not like you're going to get into a beater unless you decide to get into a beater, but you can actually afford a lot more than what you would think sometimes. Now, this area is a little bit harsher just because of the elevated home prices. Now, this is just to show you the average rents of all of them and kind of just give a little bit of backup of why put your money in somebody else's pocket. This is, in Seattle, or let's just say Des Moines down here. In Des Moines at $2,200, that's not going towards you at all. That's just so you can stay in somebody's home. And then they can eventually, give you 3-month deadline, kick you out, and do whatever they want to do because it's not your home. So, just to wrap it all up, it is an amazing time to buy a home. It's not the best time in the entire world. It's not the worst time in the entire world, but who knows when that is going to be. And if you can predict that, please message me. I'd love to hear from you. But now that we're at the end of this, if you wouldn't mind smashing that subscribe button. That's right, I just did that. That was kind of cool. Smash that subscribe button because it really does help the algorithm. And you enjoy the rest of your Monday. Pause.